$101 billion. That was the size of Enron, the seventh largest company in America, named the most innovative company in the country 6 years in a row. None of it existed. In 24 days it was gone. 20,000 people lost their jobs, billions in pension funds erased overnight. And the men who did it, they knew, every single day. For years. This is how the biggest corporate fraud in American history worked, and how they all. In 1985, two natural gas pipeline companies merged in Houston, Texas. Nothing special, nothing that suggested what was coming, just another energy company in a state full of them. But the man brought in to run the new company had an idea that nobody in the energy business had tried before. What if you could trade energy, electricity, gas, bandwidth, the same way Wall Street traders traded stocks? What if energy wasn't just something you produced and delivered, but something you bought and sold like a commodity? The idea was genuinely brilliant. The trading operation Enron built was genuinely innovative, and for a while, it genuinely worked. The stock price climbed, the company grew, the awards came. Fortune magazine named them the most innovative company in America, 6 years in a row. And then the losses started. Quiet at first, hidden inside complexity that nobody outside the company could understand, but growing. Every quarter, getting harder and harder to conceal. That is when the fraud began. Not with a plan to steal, but with a decision to hide the truth just long enough for things to turn around. They never turned around. The fraud had a name that sounds almost boring. Special Purpose Entities, SPEs. Shell companies, hundreds of them, created specifically to hide Enron's losses from the outside world. Here is how it worked. When Enron made a bad investment, and they made many instead of reporting the loss on their financial statements, they transferred it to one of these shell companies. The loss disappeared from Enron's books. The shell company absorbed it. And since the shell company wasn't publicly traded, nobody had to report it to anyone. On paper, Enron kept growing, keep showing profits, keep earning awards, keep watching its stock price climb. In reality, behind the wall of shell companies and deliberately incomprehensible financial structures, the losses were piling up into the billions. The accounting firm that audited Enron knew, or should have known. They signed off on the financials anyway, collecting hundreds of millions in fees for doing so. The investment banks knew. They helped create the shell companies and collected their fees too. The Wall Street analysts who told their clients to buy Enron stock, some of them knew. They collected their commissions and kept quiet. Everyone in the room had a reason to look away, and so everyone looked away. Meanwhile, inside the company, executives were quietly selling their own Enron stock, millions of dollars worth, while simultaneously telling their own employees that the stock was a great investment, while locking those employees' pension funds into Enron shares they could not sell. One woman saw it, an internal accountant who wrote a memo directly to the CEO warning that the company might implode in a wave of accounting scandals. She put it in writing. She sent it through official channels. The CEO read it, filed it away, and did nothing. The shredding machines ran day and night. In the summer of 2001, a reporter at the Wall Street Journal started asking questions that nobody had asked before. Simple questions. Where exactly is the money? What do these shell companies actually hold? Can we see the real numbers? Enron couldn't answer. The stock price began to fall. Credit rating agencies downgraded the company. Banks stopped lending. And in October 2001, Enron reported a $1.2 billion hole in its finances, the first public admission that something was very wrong. Within weeks, the full scale of the fraud was becoming clear. On December 2, 2001, Enron filed for bankruptcy. At the time, it was the largest corporate bankruptcy in American history. The stock that had been worth $90 a share was now worth less than $1. 20,000 employees lost their jobs on the same day, without warning, and because their pension funds had been locked into Enron stock the executives had been secretly selling for months, those 20,000 people lost their retirement savings too. The arrests came quickly. Federal investigators moved fast. The CFO, who had built the shell company Maze, cooperated with prosecutors in exchange for a reduced sentence. His testimony dismantled every defense the other executives had planned to use. The CEO and the founder were both convicted of fraud and conspiracy. The CEO received 24 years. The founder, who had insisted he knew nothing about the fraud happening inside his own company, was convicted on all counts. He died of a heart attack 3 months before his sentencing, before he could serve a single day. The accounting firm, one of the most prestigious in the world, was convicted of obstruction of justice for shredding the documents. The conviction was later overturned on a technicality. But the firm had already collapsed. 85,000 innocent employees worldwide lost their jobs because of what happened in one Houston office. Congress passed the Sarbanes-Oxley Act in 2002, the most sweeping corporate reform legislation in a generation. CEOs and CFOs now had to personally certify that their financial statements were accurate. Lying on those certifications was a federal crime with prison time attached. It was a direct response to Enron, a law written in the language of what had just happened, because what had just happened had revealed that the existing laws were not enough. But here is what stays with you about Enron. The fraud was not hidden in complicated mathematics. It was hidden in complexity that nobody wanted to untangle because untangling it would have meant admitting that the emperor had no clothes. That the most innovative company in America was, at its core, a lie held together by the willingness of everyone around it to keep believing. The banks, the auditors, the analysts, the regulators, the employees who suspected something was wrong but stayed quiet. Everyone had something to lose by asking the right question. And so nobody asked it. The question was 4 words. The same 4 words that would have ended the Madoff fraud too. The same 4 words that end almost every fraud, eventually just usually too late. Where is the money? $101 billion, 20,000 families, 45 years of a company's existence, gone in 24 days. Because nobody asked where the money was. Like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next list of financial geniuses. They're all on my rating.